I will try to continue what we started last. Where is it? Mm. Do you see my screen? Do you see the full screen?
Yes.
Okay, so last week we discussed about the internal management of intellectual property. So the need to find internal agreement when you are in a team to make your result exploitable without the issue within the consortium of the team. Now we will look at the most common way of protecting intellectual property at European level. So we will see some of the most common protection means. So trademark, industrial design, and copyright, that probably are better known, and something about patent utility model and trade secret. I have put patent utility model and trade secret in this sequence because, of course, patent is the best protection if you're interested to go to the market with a new product, but at least the trade secret is a must if you want to protect your work. But all these has a meaning if you put it in the right context. So it's very important to analyze what is called freedom to operate. So to understand before starting patenting and this kind of things, if what you have developed is really a novelty or not. So trademark. Okay, a trademark is an exclusive right over the use of a sign in relation to the goods and service for which it is registered. Okay, a trademark is normally a logo or a company name or a product name. The important feature is that it's not a unique. I mean, here you have BMW as logos, but it is unique only in the automotive sector. If you move to the food sector, probably you may register a new BMW mark, trademark. So it is important to have the new sign, but to have also the product, the category of product you want to protect. A trademark require a registration, as most of the different protection mechanisms we see today. And the registration may be national through your national intellectual property office, may be regional, so at the European level, that is the European Union Intellectual Property Office, or international through the WIPO, World Intellectual Property Organization. The level of protection depends on what you want to do with your trademark or other things we will see later. Because it's useless to protect something worldwide if you think that commercially you will live only at the national level. So before any registration, it is important to know, to have a clear idea of the future path. So what I will do with my trademark, what I will do with my product. Okay, trademark, easy. Industrial design. Industrial design is something different. It's no longer, sorry, it's no longer a logo or a word or a name. It's the appearance of the whole or part of a product resulting from the features of, in particular, lines, contours, color, shape, texture, and/or materials of the product itself and/or its ornamentation. Keep in mind that the industrial design does not protect the technology, the concept, but only the appearance. To be able to get protection as industrial design, your design needed to be novelty, needed to be with an individual character, that means to be unique, and not to include any functionality. Functionality are not covered by industrial design protection. Again, protection may be by registration at the national, regional, and international level. And this protection is normally for 5 years, or you may also not register it as a registered community design at European level. Normally, this kind of protection is done for product, for design that have a very short life because it's covered up to 3 years. Okay, so now we have the logo and the name, and we have the appearance. Different story is the one of copyright. Copyright does not protect a product, but protect any intellectual creation, normally literary, scientific, and artistic works. Copyright normally is protected in an automatic way. For example, if you develop a software is a very strange and difficult topic to be protected, because normally you have a difficulty to get a patent, we will see later, and you may try to have at least a partial protection on its appearance. Software may be protected by copyright in terms of the interface, of the user experience, these kind of things. That is something that is normally done when you don't have the possibility to get a patent. Now, move to product and device. Patent is the complete protection of any invention. An invention may be a product or may be a process. Again, process is many times used for algorithm, because an algorithm may be seen as a process, not it's a software implementation, but it's a design. And the patent normally is something protecting a technical solution or a new way of doing something. There are three main requirements that you have to satisfy to get a patent. The first one is novelty. What you design, what you propose is not in the current state of the art. When you submit a patent, when you file a patent, the office in charge of verification normally look at publication literature, scientific literature, rather than gray literature as the one on the internet, to assess novelty. This is why in many projects, in many work, when you have a company working with a university, you have some problem, because the interest of a university, of an academic body, is to publish, while the interest of a company is to keep the invention protected as much as possible. Otherwise, you are no longer able to get a patent for that. So novelty, not in the current state of the art, and they need to be characterized by what is called an inventive step. That means that is something not obvious, not trivial, not coming directly and easily from what is already known, but it requires something more, that is the invention. And an invention need to be applicable at industrial level. Okay, these are the three key requirements to get a patent. Then when you get when you have your product that is patentable, again you may move at the national, regional, and international level. Normally, at least in Europe, you start by applying at the national level, also because of cost. And if the patent is approved at the national level, then you move to European or international level. Again, especially both at European level, but mainly at international level, you have to have a clear idea about your industrial exploitation, because you need to redo the filing procedure for each country. So it's a lot of work, only translation if you like, and it's a lot of money. When you get a patent, it's for 20 years. You have to pay each year your fee, for sure, but your invention is covered for 20 years. Many times you have developed something that is not enough to become a patent. Normally, you have, as I said here, a limited inventive step. So you have developed something that is new, for sure, that is not obvious, but it's not so disruptive as a patent may be. In this case, you may decide adopt an utility model. Utility model is similar to patent, but it's only at a national level. Last protection you may have of this kind of product, of invention, is the trade secret. A trade secret is defined as any confidential business information providing a competitive advantage to an enterprise. The type of information that can be protected as trade secret is therefore highly diverse. This is something I suggest to all of you and also to myself, if you like, because normally when you develop in a company, you are focused on your development work. It's very important to put in place procedure, processes, and mechanisms that allow to protect your development. Because if you are able to demonstrate that you keep secret your development, your information, then you have some legal, how can I say, some legal protection in case of someone take your development. Okay, so you need that you have to keep, sorry, all your information secret. So not generally known. This information needed to have a commercial value, and you are applying reasonable measure to keep it secret. So it's important in the contract with the employee to keep always a confidentiality clause. So they know that anything is developed within the company has to stay in the company. This is a general protection. Normally, it's not done because in the case of a legal dispute, you have to demonstrate that you have protected your secret. If you're not able to demonstrate any protection, so reasonable measure to keep it secret, you are no longer in the position to defend your property. So this is an overview of what we have seen and also of other aspects. Again, I suggest you to look at the documentation, the document produced by the European Commission. This one is a guide to intellectual property in Europe. Of course, if you move to other country and you want to commercialize something in a specific country, you need to look at the rules there. This is what we have already seen. So the intellectual property right. What is the general kind of thing you want to protect? What is the duration of the protection? What is a priority? And I will explain again in a few minutes. And which are the route to registration? I have shown you trademark, industrial design, patent, utility model, and trade secret and copyright. If you wanted to complete the list of what may be protectable at the European level, for sure you already know about domain names. Internet address may be protected. You register your internet address. And you may protect also product that have a specific geographical origin. This is, for example, in Italy, quite common for agriculture product. And you may protect also collection of works and data that are called database. Priority is the first time you file your patent, for example, because I will show you later on an example of the long story of a patent we have done at European level that took 2 or 3 years at the end. But somehow the first time you file the information, you ask for the patent, you stop the time. I mean, it's a priority. If after such a date something appear on the same topic, is not important because you stop the time at the time you file the first time your patent. Okay. And you may keep this priority for a fixed amount of time that change for any kind of IP rights. Normally, when you do this kind of things, you make some exploratory work at individual level, but normally you need the help of some consultancy taking care of the process from the point of view of the registration. But as I told at the beginning, the patenting per se, or all the work to prepare a patent may be useless. The first thing you have to keep under your consideration is what is called the freedom to operate. Freedom to operate refers to the ability to develop, produce, and market a product or service without infringing on the intellectual property rights, especially patents, held by others. It's essentially a risk assessment process that helps companies ensure that their innovation won't lead to legal challenges. This is a key point. And normally you have to do it at the very beginning of your development process. Because you need to know what you're going to develop. Not only because if you develop something that has already been developed by other, you cannot protect it, but also because you risk to copy the work of other people. So it is very important to know what already exists in such a way to develop something that is different. This is something that you have to do from an innovation point of view. Also, for example, when you look for funding. If you look for funding at private and or public level, it's very important that you are aware of the real novelty of what we are developing. So it is very important to make a search in this direction. Now I will show you 3 different websites that maybe you use to assess the existence of mark or industrial design or patent. But my suggestion is to start also from search engine on the internet. Google is already a first level screening of what already exists. And it's really important because you have a legal risk, but mainly you risk to lose your innovation at the end. So, as I told you, I will show you 3 websites that you may use to check freedom to operate. One for trademark, the second for industrial design, and the last one for patents. I think I have to share a new screen that is Yeah. Now you see trademark view. Okay, this is the first one of the three websites, and it's the one devoted to trademark. Here you may decide what you want to search for. It may be a name, it may be a picture, and you may also look at which country you want to check. Because as you know, as we have discussed before, when you protect something, you may protect it at different level. And so, for example, I am going to search for Muse. And when I tried this morning, I was really astonished by the amount of Muse that exists in the world. Sorry, it's in Italian. Haha. I realize now. Let me see if I am able to change it to English. It's English now?
Yes.
Okay. So I've searched this name, this mark, and you got initially get a list view in which you have the different representation of the trademark. Okay. You have the application day. You have the status, so you know if it is expired or not. And you see the area. I don't know if you see the pop-up menu here, because
Yes.
I'm sure. Okay, but for example, here you have a good and service, a different classification, the different categories in which the mark is there. And as you can see, the same trademark, many times you try to cover as much category of product as possible. But if you move in another one, probably it's free, okay? You may file your trademark. Then you have the country where it has been registered. Application number is not so important, and the applicant name. But just to give you an idea, we have 252 Muse that have been already registered. And here you have the different appearance. You may see when they have been registered. You may look for a specific applicant if you want. You may also, that is important, sorry, that may be important, you may look at the different goods and services category. Here are all the category where at least one or more trademark have been recorded. For example, in the scientific field, we have 17. So looking at Muse as the trademark of a product of our factory pact, for example, well, first of all, I will look at the 70 similar trademark in the scientific and research field. Okay, this is done at international level, so it's a World International Protection Organization. And I think it's all. You may export, you may edit, you may change research, you may edit different column. I think it's quite useful. The second one, I would like to show you, but I have some problem. Okay, you may look at the design, also design. Also here, sorry for Italian, English. Also here you may select the name of the product, or you may select a design. In this case, I have just uploaded, we're going to do now the picture from Muse, the logo from Muse. You may search also here. And here is different, okay? Because you may see different categories. You may look at the logos. For example, here you have something that is similar to Muse. Or this one is the same shape as an ornamentation. And also here you are able to see all the things that are more or less similar to the Muse logo I have uploaded before. Okay, this one is very similar somehow. And for each of these, you have all the information. You have where it has been registered, when it has been published. Okay, this is French. The description of design, in this case, the logo, and the expiration date. Here you have the design office where it was registered, and I think it's all. Also here we have 992 logos, ornamentation and so on that are similar to Muse. Just to give you an idea of how many
Otóż, ja podam tu? Tak?
Sorry,
Okay.
but I think she was just talking to someone else.
Yes, I think so. Okay, here you may see again at the office where they have been filed, the classification, their status, again the owner, the designer. As you know, ownership may be different from authorship, application day, registration day, and so on. Also, this one I think may be quite useful. The last one I wanted to show you is for patent. This is a SpaceNet. We may search again Muse, I don't know if it's a good choice. A SpaceNet is an engine devoted to the search of patent, in this case, and it has been developed by the European Patent Office. But a SpaceNet does not search only European patent, but search everywhere. I may try to put a Muse again, or if you have something you want to check for, I have no idea. No, Muse maybe is not the right. We may say smartphone. Okay. And here we have almost 1 million of a result that is somehow related to smartphone. For example, support for smartphone. Okay, it is a patent that has a priority. So the first time it was filed was 2015, and it was published in 2017. For each patent, you have a short description, and then you may enter to see detail. Let me see something more interesting. As you can see, most of the patent are in English, but they may be also in German and in French, because these are the three official line of the European Patent Office. Um, I don't know if you wanted to see one of these. As you see, for each patent, you have the language in which it is available. You have the potential translation, and you have the name of the applicant and the name of the inventor. As you see, the name of the inventor are many normally, but the applicant is just one. It's the owner. It is Stradvision Inc. is a company probably, and these are the person that developed the patent. You have the classification of the patent. The classification of the patent is similar to the good and service we have seen in the previous website. There is an international patent classification and there is a cooperative patent classification. This one is an extension of the first one. And here you see that is the classification in the different country. US, China, Korea. You have some other general information here. Then you have the description. As you can see, this is a method and device, so it's both. Normally, when you file something, you try to file if possible, but in most of cases, this is possible to file both the method and the product because you develop a new product. But when you develop a new product, probably you develop also a process and method to use it. So what is filed is the method and the device. You have an abstract and then you have a figure and all the detailed information. I will show you if you like some of this kind on a patent I know better in a few minutes if you want. Anyway, you may find here all the invention that somehow relate to a smartphone. For example, this one is about cases, so it's completely different. This another one is about camera, so it's dealing with some kind of optical extension, lenses, and these kind of things. There is everything, really. It's very, very interesting to look. Okay, this is a very generic search, but if you have a clear idea of what you want to patent, is very useful to browse SpaceNet because you have really a lot of information. What you can do, you may save some result if you want. So these are the one I tried before. I tried also myself to find our patent. You have your classification, you have a result. This is classification what we have found. So it's really a full engine to make a search. I suggest you to use. I suggest you also to take a look at the EPO website because here you have a lot of useful information from the point of view of search, how to search, sorry, from the point of view of the process to apply, the legal background, and a lot of other general information, but really it's quite interesting. An important thing I have not talked about is what is called unitary patent. That is something quite new in Europe because when you obtain a patent, you may obtain a patent at national level, or you may obtain a patent at European level. As I said you before, normally you start from national, and when you get your national patent, you may move to European level. But when you get a European patent, is nothing. to make it a working protection at a commercial level. You were up to a few years ago, I think a couple of years ago, you were only allowed to go to the single national country, asking to register the patent also in the country. Now there is the unitary patent that you may ask once you have obtained a European patent that already cover your product in all this country. So you are automatically protected in all the blue country you see here. And it's something that, of course, may be very useful if you're interested to work in Europe. Then you may anyway ask for an international extension in other countries that are not part of the unitary patent. But it's something very, very useful that has been developed to help you to counteract the cost of patenting, I think. Okay, I think I have finished more or less. If you like, I show you our patent, just mail it to